this. Okay, the stream is up.
Perfect.
Yep, just give a sec to make the links, then we'll begin properly. So if anyone just joined, sorry about the the poorness of the quality, but it's just that it's usually this is Glad's domain, not mine.
We'll get through it one way or the other. It's going to be a good time regardless. Although, this is my first time probably tuning into a stream as soon as it comes up there. I don't quite see it on your channel. Is it on the YouTuber League?
It's on my channel, so I posted up on the game videos and the general, so people could get in.
Alright, that works.
Yep.
I was actually looking on your channel there, which is probably why I didn't see it up to now.
Yep.
There we go. Should be all set.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to this Blood Bowl Weekly Analyst for Week 11. Normally, Glad does this, but the poor bugger is knackered from personal life, so I decided to take up the reins for this week. And today I'll be joined by two guests. My first guest is the smooth-talking, hard-hitting Oathmaster of the Amber Knights.
Ooh, smooth talking. I wasn't expecting this introduction. I'm flattered.
And my other guest will be the incomparable Bright Ops when he decides to join us when he's sort of some hygiene issues.
Well, they are lizardmen after all.
But anyhow, shall we begin? First off, we'll look back at week 10, and then we'll make decisions on what will happen in week 11. So first off, we've got the Rehensibles versus the goddamn Rats.
Yep, this is a match I ended up watching, was it yesterday morning? And it was a little bit brutal there. I don't think there was very many. I don't think we had a lot of injuries, was there? Only 6 armor breaks on. Oh, 6 for the Rats. I'm looking at it wrong. This is my first time doing analysis. I gotta break this in.
Yeah. But yes, there was a bit of injuries though for the Rats, unfortunately. I mean, to be honest, I felt that Nuffle really, give the goddamn Rats a good kicking.
Yeah, the Rat Ogre didn't quite do the damage it needed to, and it could have done a lot of work if it started breaking that armor on the Elves. Maybe got through.
I could have, but I kind of felt sorry for Grim because he was facing the Rehensibles who are practically running roughshod at the moment. Because I mean, last night's match, Grim couldn't even get a string of things going. He was rolling lots of double skulls in the match. I mean, if you look at these block dice, I mean, 18 skulls and 38 pushes. It was just the poor bugger didn't have much of a chance.
Oh yeah, it was pretty brutal there, and he did kind of take your advice, I believe, where he got he used his petty cash basically just to fill up his roster and didn't get like ridiculous star players like he did against your Orc match, I think.
Yep.
So it was still like a regular blitzer and a couple other things, but nothing too drastic that at least helped with his line, I suppose. So I think he may have took your advice a little bit.
Yeah, which was a good thing because, to be honest, I mean, star players are only good if you know how to use them properly. And when he was facing me, he didn't use his very properly because the Rat one he brought in is about stabbing. He's about to get in and stab. While against the Dials, he needs a lot of people to to fill his line because his line was getting a bit decimated from the silly shenanigans from from what I did and what other people did to him in the past.
Yeah, he definitely, if he were to take that stabbing rat, it actually would have worked a little bit better against Elves just because of the lower armor. And since they are so reliant on blodge, that actually could have been a good way to get through it. But he didn't take it for his case either way. And he decided to use them in your game against Armor 9, which is a lot less likely to work out.
Indeed. But, I mean, it's a good result for the Rehensibles. I mean, to be honest, we all said the same about the Rehensibles. They were going to win.
Yeah, and now I believe they have 2 Agility 5 players, so they can basically run through a single tackle zone on 2+s
I know, and
with 2 players.
and that's what's worrying me. That's worrying me big
Although
time.
they are kind of going up against Gojira pretty soon, so the Clash of the Titans is going to happen eventually. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean he has two Duty 5, his thrower and his blitzer, which is pretty bad because I'm facing them next.
Oh yeah, I see that, so we're going to get to talk about that later.
Yep. Anyhow, shall we move on to the next match, which is WWE versus the Strickland Family. Now this match was quite unique, I have to say.
I'm just glad that our newcomer decided to save their kill rolls for the dwarf match and not my one, because that would have
I
been pretty brutal.
I have to admit, I was surprised the two. I mean, the Hobgoblin dying, I was not surprised by that, to be honest. I expected a Hobgoblin to die eventually, right?
Oh yeah.
But when he killed the dwarf, however, now that was surprising.
Yeah, guard dwarf at that. It was brutal. That's gonna hurt
Yeah.
Scythe for a little bit until he gets a replacement. Or does he have one?
I think he does, but we'll have a look. But I mean, WWE's power rate was very high, but he did a lot of pushes. But same with
Yeah, even
even
yeah,
Scythe.
even
Go ahead.
even if it was a tie there was still a lot of running around with the bull centaurs. They just couldn't keep the ball long enough to kind of make it to the other side of the field. It seemed like.
And also the same game came to the runners. It's just like it was like just two big walls just crashing into each other, and it's like right, no one's given.
Yeah,
Think
and
about it.
since they aren't quite trained up yet there, because a few of those were like both down results on the runner there. The one dwarf that didn't have block fell victim to not being leveled up yet to get that skill.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, I was surprised that neither side could get the advantage. I mean, it was a good match. It was just very hard for any side to move.
Yeah, because I believe Formal managed to take out hobgoblins relatively well, and at least send their numbers relatively quickly. So a lot of ball handling was definitely in his advantage if he could at least hang on to it for a couple of turns
Yeah,
to get situated.
yeah. I mean, he is down. He's down two players. I mean, he's lost one. I think he's bought him back. I'm not sure if he's bought one back or not. Let me check. One, two.
He went to buy the Minotaur, I believe.
Yeah, he bought them.
So he didn't buy his dwarf blocker back. He
No,
spent all his money to get the Minotaur, I believe. Don't
yeah,
know
he
if he
did.
had extra to buy more or another one though,
He
because he's still
has.
missing. Yeah, he only has 10 players currently.
Yeah, he has enough to buy a hobgoblin if he wants, which I think he should get because he needs another ball handler.
Yeah, but with a loner, that's not a huge issue. Unless
Hmm.
he wants a 6 blocker back, that might be the exception. It's just the loner he'll have to deal with, the loner trait.
Yep. But anyhow, we'll move on to the next match, which was Better Than Humans versus Painful Suffering.
Yes. Good old ogres and their attempt to cause suffering upon the world.
Yep.
Sadly, I don't think I saw this match since it was like as soon as the week rolled over, so I missed this entirely. But I do see MVP's a dead Noblar. That's always
Yes.
a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about this match in the last video about this one, but yeah, I did get to watch the match finally, and I mean, honestly, yeah, I felt sorry for you know, for Joe. I mean, Joe did okay. He did all right. It's just things just went, you know,
Yeah.
went the
The
went. Yep, go
only
ahead.
brief period I saw was like third or fourth turn. Is his agility 3 ogre had the ball, so I imagine Eternal Red Devil, our friend here, had a hard time trying to get that off him for the rest of the half.
Yeah, he did, but unfortunately, the Elven speed and a little luck has went his way. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and as a result, we have a 2-1 score, but at least Ogres did manage to get a score. I just don't know if that was the Ogre touchdown or something else that happened.
Yeah, but we'll move on now to the one of the more interesting matches, which was the BMS Cheerleader squad versus Ronki. Now, this one was quite intriguing to say the least.
Yeah, because Romkey was feeling very hopeful. Ooh, do
Oh,
we have ourselves a bright
yep,
ops?
yep. I think that's Bright Ops.
It is, in fact.
Hello, Bright
Good,
Ops.
you're just in time.
Yep, welcome, Bright Ops. We're just about to talk about the BMS Chilean squad versus the Ronkers, or as I call them, Ronky Wonky. But
Yeah, Romke was feeling optimistic about this with two blitzers being knocked out for his match.
well,
Hmm.
we'll cover that in a minute. But first off, I want to get Bright's opinion on the Rehensibles versus the goddamn rats. Rats. So what's your thought on them, Bright?
Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment to get Blood Bowl up so I can just actually see the results of matches and all that.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
But as for Dark Elves versus Rats, yeah, that seemed. I'm not. I don't mean to sound nasty or anything, but it was definitely a Dark Elf stomping game, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, with a lot of poor rolls for poor old Grim there too. The Rat Ogre
Yeah.
didn't do a whole lot, it felt like.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I also want to say one thing. Grim, you had one job, and you blew it. You had one job, and that was to murder the Dark Elves, but you failed.
Yep, and in return, I think a fair few of the Dark Elves actually leveled up from this match.
Including a second Agility 5 player.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad that I've already played the Dark Elves, so I don't have to
Yeah,
worry about them immediately.
what's even worse, the Agility 5 player is also their runner, so their dump off is that much more impactful now.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard job when I face him in the next round.
Hmm.
Next
Yep. Silver lining for the Rats, at least one of his gutter runners leveled up. So, yay.
Yeah. But anyhow, on the next match, which was WWE versus Strickland Family, your thoughts?
Let's have a quick. Not surprised that it was a tie, though the fact that at least one Chaos Dwarf is dead is actually really impressive.
His leveled up one too, which makes it all the more painful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or at least one that had guard radder.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
you have the Hobgoblin also dying, which was quite hilarious.
I mean, it's a hobgoblin. You kind of.
It's
It's
expected.
yeah, it comes with the territory.
Yep. And
It's like with painful suffering, yeah, just how he's prone to having snotlings die. It's just
It was meant to be.
Part of the course. But yeah, I mean we'll skip painful suffering and better humans because you and I talked about this last week, Bright. So you know much about that one.
Hmm.
So
Indeed.
now we're up to date with the BMS cheerleading squad versus the Ronky Wonkers, or as I call them, Ronky Wonky. but anyhow, gentlemen, your thoughts?
But yeah, Romke was feeling optimistic for his possible match after Gladiator was able to take out two blitzers, but Romke suffered terrible loss in that 1 minute there, losing a blitzer and rolling the snake eyes on a go for it there.
Yeah, and he died in the process.
Yep. Even with the apothecary, it wasn't meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though that said, the fact that Romke was able to tie with the BMS cheer squad is good.
Yeah.
Even despite his horrible luck, is pretty damn good, honestly.
Yeah, there was also a possibility for him to get maybe a second touchdown since I think Gojira failed to pick up the ball twice in the final few turns, maybe.
Yeah,
So he was on it, but he
Well,
didn't get to pick it up.
Well, we do have to keep in mind though, Gojira did have horrendous luck in the second half. I mean, he couldn't pick up the ball because of the rain. I mean, that really screwed him over. But also, we have to add the fact.
I've been there, done that, own the T-shirt.
But we also have to add the factor as well that Ronki did put 4 of his people in the sin box, literally injured them.
Yeah, we'll see. And Gojira's missing 2 players there, with one of which having a movement injury here apparently with the thrower. Just the level 1 thrower, but both the throwers are out actually.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a big thing. How he is keeping Deborah, because I have heard he's keeping Deborah because of her movement age. She's too valuable. And to be honest, it makes sense, but I fear that if Deborah does get picked out, she's going to go away quickly.
Yeah, the one plus side, since she's kind of the dedicated ball carrier she's always going to be surrounded by the guard players at least to make it hard to get at her and take advantage of that armor 6 at least.
Mm.
And the fact that she has blodge, like almost the rest of for a vast majority of the. Actually, no. Now that I say it, not that many of the Amazons actually have blodge.
They
Yeah,
don't.
it's mostly been the blitzers
Yeah,
that've been leveled up, and they already start with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already start with it.
Sorry,
But...
for some reason I thought that. For some reason I thought there was more of them that had it.
No, but the problem is it's those 4 main players because they're so tight together. It's very hard to get a hold of them.
No, that is true.
Yeah, with the guard, that's the one difficult cage to get through, especially with 2 with stand firm now.
Now, next up is an interesting one. It was the Midgar Raiders versus the Alight Reptilians. Mr. Ops, would you care to explain yourself?
I don't think I need to, honestly. I think the score stands for itself.
It was a good meal, it seems like, with 3-1. How many injuries did we get, though?
6. I mean, you went on a total rampage on poor Johnny. What on earth possessed you to go total ape on him?
Honestly, I think just the fact that I was suddenly in a situation where, oh my god, Nuffle isn't screwing me over. I'm taking full advantage of this.
Yeah, surprisingly though, Johnny actually got more armor breaks than you, just barely, but you got the injury over it.
True, I have been injured. Fun discovery.
Oh.
Players can't go below 1 of any stat.
Yes,
Yep.
that was when we were all questioned about how the hell do you go from 1 to 0? I don't think you can, and we now know you can't. So, to be honest, that's not.
Yeah, I mainly play Lizardman. I had this happen to me during my open ladder games on one of my sources. Yeah, you can't go below 1, at least on agility. Have yet to find out if that's true with strength, but I seriously doubt it, because that would be a little ridiculous trying to block something with 0 strength. If you didn't retire him by that point.
If you didn't, I think someone's wrong with you. But, yeah.
You're a Noblar.
Yeah, or you're a Nobler. But, yes, I mean, that was an interesting thing when I saw that, thinking, wait, do you guys actually suffer my go to 0? And, well, now we know it doesn't, but you are 1 down Saurus for your next match, though.
True, I am down a Saurus, though I can't really complain.
And Russian
It
Trump...
is a block source, though, so I'm looking forward to that.
And
we'll get to it later, though.
Yeah, and Russian Trump was pretty quiet in that match, I have to admit. He was pretty quiet.
I think...
There was still a lot of fouling, though, I think, with the sneaky gets.
Yeah. I will be honest, it wasn't like I wasn't trying to kill people.
Well,
we were trying, damn it. We were trying. It just didn't.
Yeah. Next one is my match where, let's be honest, I got absolutely nuffled out of the game. Big time.
That werewolf.
Yeah.
That werewolf was punishing.
Yeah, and I lost a player as well. One of my players died, which was... that was hard for me. I had a rough night that match.
Yeah, this is the second game in a row where that werewolf is just murdering people after what I think GW Rules has just had enough of losing werewolves. He's out for blood.
Yeah, I mean, you saw me took a royal pounding though in that match. I was like, I couldn't do anything. I mean, got a touchdown, then kicks off, gets a blitz, and just literally demolished.
Yeah, you had a chance. You had a chance to get out and get that touchdown, and then skulls and ones.
Yep.
True, but I will say it is a bit hard to feel sorry for you. You tend to give a beating to everyone else every other match.
Well, come on. I was facing the rats. What more do you want? It was poor Griff. The poor buggers had worse luck than anyone in this damn league.
And they're rats. They're bound to get beaten up.
Well,
you said that the werewolf was killing people? Like, are we talking actually killing people, or just...
At least one of your orcs was killed, I believe, in that match.
Yeah, that was from a flesh golem.
Yeah, that was a black orc too, apparently.
Yeah, it was a black orc.
Okay, then.
Which really which really crippled my team a bit, because, I mean, next game I am 1 player down, which means I'll be missing a blitzer, my key blitzer.
Yeah, and
Mate,
of course, only
as
3 black orcs as well for that match.
Yeah.
true, true, that does suck, but you're not in the worst possible position. You are going up against Dark Elves.
Yes.
Whereas if we look into the match after below that one,
Yep. Which is
Should I be
cheerful.
complimented?
The Cheerful Chastisers versus the Ember Knights.
Yep.
God.
I may have accidentally, after looking at this match, unleashed a block Minotaur on the world. I think that's all I have to say about this. Sure,
Yeah.
it was a lot of scoring, but Pig Dog did get 4 levels up, despite how one-sided this was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, good for him. Let's be honest, the Chaos team needed something to rally the team around, and a block Minotaur
One way of doing
might
it.
just be
Yeah,
it might just be what turns it around for them.
and that
Yeah.
Minotaur was still doing work. It injured one of my blitzers, knocked out another one. I think it got 2 more knockouts throughout the course of that match. It was just really stubborn in the first 3 turns since he rolled a lot of ones on those wild animals.
Yeah. But this match, we have to admit, this was the Jeremy show, though. The way you were going about this.
Well, I
Again.
want to get that level up, but actually Marcus got 2 touchdowns as well. And with that movement speed, I want to try and at least get him up to that kind of notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
The only way this could have been a more German victory is if the Soviet Union just came onto the pitch attacking the Chaos team from behind halfway through.
Oh, Christ. Anyhow, we're going to the last match of this week, which was the Warhammer Locust versus the Serial Killers. And unfortunately,
This sounds like it was a brutal match. It sounds like for Glad there. I think he had a lot of injuries really early on that kind of set the pace a little bit, but he still managed to tie it though.
Indeed. But for Serial Killers, however, they have had a death, which was one of the zombies, a leveled up zombie, mind you.
MVP zombie at that.
So he would have been level 2 if he'd lived. Which just hurts. That's painful to see.
I would say if your star MVP went to your star player, your mercenary star player, that hurts more.
True. And until last week I wasn't aware that could happen, but yeah, this is very much a close second.
Indeed. Indeed.
Just having a dead player get MVP, even worse if they leveled up from it.
Yeah. Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. Anyhow,
And
sorry, me doors. Just about me door was knocking in. I had to quickly sort that out. So, anyhow, we move on to week 11. Now this is gonna get interesting. First off is my match against the Rehensibles. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh boy, oh boy.
This is going to be rough. 2 agility 5 players. One we already deduced was the runner, and you're missing a black orc and your dedicated blitzer who would have been really good for this with mighty blow and tackle.
Indeed.
I'm gonna be honest with you, mates. This is gonna be an uphill fight for you.
Yeah.
The only real way that you can potentially turn this in your favor is if very early on Nuffle blesses you with crippling and killing a bunch of his valuable players.
Yeah.
Which isn't impossible.
Yeah,
it's not impossible.
Yeah, but however, I do want to put a side note. Ronky, the little troll, has been blessing everyone against me, and that's what happened to Strickland, and he's doing it for the Dark Elves. I'm going to hopefully try and, I'm going to do one or two things. I'm going to try and beat him, or get a draw, try and kill him, or not do anything and just walk out this match and go, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to try and avoid getting killed and save my strength for week 12. Well, I know I can actually do some work.
Yeah, he kind of has it out for you, doesn't he, for some reason. At first I thought it was just you be on the top of the leaderboard, but that's not true anymore, so
yeah,
he has it out for you. I don't know why.
Beats me. But, anyhow, your thoughts of the score, gentlemen, because I can't comment on this one, because this one's my match.
Honestly, this is, as I said, this is going to be very dependent on if you can actually cripple or at least get as many elves off the bloody pitch as quickly as possible. But I'm not sure what score you're gonna get, but I can't help but feel like if you don't get the luck to do some damage, then then the Dark Elves are going to be winning with a 3 or more.
Yeah, I kind of see that as well, especially since they have an extra player on reserves. But the only thing I don't know is the petty cash you might have for this match. Could that be a factor as well, since you're going to have a good amount of it?
It depends
Oh
what.
yeah, fair enough. How much
Well,
do you
Because
think you're gonna have?
I'm gonna have over 400.
Ooh, oh yeah, yeah. That's definitely going to. That's gonna
yeah,
go. That's gonna go a fair distance
yeah,
to at least level the score. But
chainsaw can be great against the blitzers, ignoring the blodge if you can get your hands on them. Can get an extra black orc, but I don't know what kind of star players you have access to that could be impactful here.
I have some decent star players, but I have to think of what I'm gonna do. I mean, chainsaw might be an option, or a wizard could be an option,
Definitely a wizard can be great.
or I could be.
don't do a bombardier. Don't do bombardier.
Oh hell no, I'm not
I'm
doing
not sure.
bombardier.
Yeah, this is not the team to be. This is not the team to be throwing bombs at.
Now, if it was you, Bright, then I would be.
Oh hell yes.
Anyhow, speaking of you, this is interesting now. Now, since you two can't comment about who's going to win in your matches, but before we go that, Ulf, what's your prediction of my match? Because I forgot about you, Nelly.
Yeah, I was thinking a 3-0, 3-1 there for the Dark Elves winning, but the inducements and some early injuries on maybe some of their valuable players, I could see a 2-1 maybe. Hard to say though, somewhere around there.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I think. Yeah, I think this might be the first time in the analysts' channel history where both people having both people having a match were commenting on it.
Yep. So, I'm the one who has to decide on the scores, but you gentlemen can trash talk the living crap out of each other if you want. So, let the
Mm.
trash talking begin. But do keep it civil.
Oh, I'm looking forward to being the Skink's nightmare with Jeremy. Now that he has diving tackle. And you're missing one of your
Ugh.
Blocksaurus as well, so I only have 2 blockers to deal with. Although your tacklers are going to be a bit of a pain.
Yeah, I will admit I'm not looking forward to this one simply because of just how fucking ridiculous your blitzes have become.
Oh,
Though if I can kill one of them, that would be fan-fucking-tastic.
it's going to be difficult. It comes down to if your tacklers get on me, but it could have been worse. I was really trying to get my one of my blockers a touchdown for a level up for a second guard, but it didn't quite work out against Pig Dog. So consider yourself lucky there.
Yeah, true. Though I will admit, you know how we're discussing that if Trump is still alive at the end of the season, that I'm gonna commission artwork of him just with a throne of all of his kills. I feel like if I can manage to have him kill one of your blitzes, that blitz's skull is gonna be a crown.
It fits as a crown, but good luck trying it. Jeremy's incredibly well equipped to avoid being ganged up on.
We will see. We'll see where Nuffle decides to place his favor.
Yeah, as much as you want to kill the blitzers, it's Jeremy you want, admit it. Everyone else is kind of just there for show at this point.
I mean, to be fair, Marcus is pretty damn intimidating in his own right.
He has potential. He can actually he can keep up with your skinks, not quite outpace them yet, but he's getting up there. Mighty blow, tackle. There's a lot I have to work with here. And 2 dirty players if you decide to make a nice tempting target for someone out on the side there.
True.
Well,
But think of it this way, at the very least, if one of your blitzes does get killed, at least the way that you've got it set up at the moment, you at least have the benefit of the other ones are good enough in their own way that yes, losing on it will suck horribly, but it's not exactly a crippling thing.
well,
You can still recover from that.
Yep. Well, gentlemen.
Shall we keep going?
Well, gentlemen, As I'm looking at the teams, to be honest, yeah, I mean, the only thing Bright's got in his favour is he's got 50k of inducements, which I'm assuming that's a Budweiser baby you're gonna probably get. Is that right?
Probably. I'll have to double check how much actual pet.
Let's see. I'm at
Because
1540. You're at 1460. So you'll have about 80k. Looks like here, or is that a loner being included somewhere?
No, he's got enough to field Varlona.
yeah, I've got reserves. I do have reserves.
Okay, so you could get 2 Bloodweiser babes, or dip into your own pool. Dip into your own pool for 2 Bloodweiser babes or bribes. Since you have sneaky gets, you might consider doing.
It's worth considering because I'll usually not tap into my own reserves for matches, but this one I might be tempted to.
You're gonna make an exception for me. I'm flattered. I'll welcome you with open arms and dirty fouls.
Oh, well, this one is a worth watch, folks. But I want to throw my 2 cents here who I think will win, because I'm the one who's allowed to decide a scoreline this time around. But also, one thing I want to say is, though, right? Don't let Russ and Trump die.
Yep.
That honor belongs to me. I'm the one who's going to kill him and impeach him.
Don't worry, my attention's on the tackle Sorai. Gonna get rid of them. You can have Russian Trump.
Yeah, Russian Trump in this league has become the one person everybody wants to kill for some odd reason, but okay.
And yet keep surviving.
Well, he did kill an ogre, to be fair. That is quite a feat in and of itself.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. But anyhow, in my view, the scoreline, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give it to the Amber Knights 2-1. Because I feel like
2-1 for
favor.
Hugo.
Yep, here's the reason why. Because I feel like the blitzers on Oath's team is a little too strong for you to deal with Bright. Because unless you can get a lot of luck on your side with Nuffle, which let's be honest, Nuffle's been a very odd mistress with you.
Look, honestly, this is one of those cases where if I lose, it's not surprising. But if I can maim or kill a blitzer in the process, I'll consider that a win.
Good luck trying.
I plan to.
Okay, gentlemen.
And I welcome it.
The next match is an interesting one. It's the Serial Killers United versus the Ronky Wonkies, as I like to call them. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
And has Rumpke got a replacement blitzer yet, or did he even have the money to get a 4th one back?
Let's have a look.
I am seeing only 3 blitzers here.
No, he did not.
He still has a lot of block, though, mind you, and a couple tackling guards, so
Yeah.
he could at least deal with the mummies decently. And with staying firm and mighty blow, he's gonna need to deal with them somehow.
Yeah, but he's got a armored 7 thrower, which could be a bit of a problem for him.
Yeah, one good smack is all the serial kills need on that thing.
Yeah.
True. Though, to credit to the thrower, he does. I'm fairly certain the reason he's sticking with him is because he's got block. So he's at least got some survivability. And let's be honest, it's a thrower. If he's using his thrower to fight, then stuff's not going well anyway.
Yeah, normally the Sora wants to hang back as much as possible until you're ready to make a passing play, ideally. So the armor is not a huge loss on its own.
No, but
and with block, he does have survivability.
Yeah. But as for Maz, I mean, he's now got 2 mummies with stand firm. Now they're
Stand firm and guard.
Yep, they're going to be hard to shift.
That's for sure.
I think this is one of the few times his Ogre is underpowered against these 2 brutes.
Yeah, on the plus side though, Rumpke does have good level ups all around to kind of have the better versatility, where really it's just the mummies that got the level up for Mazza.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maz is very much this entire season. It's very much a case of those characters of his, other than the mummies who have leveled up, tend to die.
Oh yeah.
Like I claimed a white. We know that he lost a level 2 zombie last.
Yeah, Frankenberry died, and he could have gotten level 3 from the MVP.
Yeah. I mean, that does suck for poor Maz. And to be honest, I mean, if we look at the team ratings, I mean, there's not much in it. There's only 80k difference.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Yep, 80k difference. So when you think about it, there's not much difference. I mean, the only thing I think Maz can only get is a Bloodwiser Babe unless he dips into his cash reserves for the extra 20 to get some get a reroll or something.
He does have 110k currently in his treasury, so he could go a little bit bigger if he feels bold enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the option is there. He does at least have the option of going big. If I guess it's a matter of if he decides if this is the match he wants to go big or go home on.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on the scores?
I'm.
Hard to... No, I'll let you go first.
Speak. All right, fine. After the trash talking, we're being nice to each other. Either way, I feel like if Romkey can avoid the mummies, maybe crowd control him a tiny bit somehow, he should be able to outskill and outperform the undead player a little bit. So maybe Romkey comes ahead 2-1, 1-0 if it stalls out by. I still feel like Romkey could win this here some. It's just a question of if he can avoid the mummies because they are slow after all.
True.
True.
Personally, I'm inclined towards the... If we look at our history here, I'm inclined to think that this is either going to be...
Another draw.
Yeah, basically, I'm inclined to think a 1-1. Just as I would love to see Maz win a match. I would at this point, because at the moment I just looked at his leadership board. It's down the middle. He's had 5 draws and 5 losses.
Okay, I didn't even look at the roster. For some reason, I went 2-1 for Romkey just so I could balance that out. But I didn't realize he was even on both ends, ties and losses.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for a win from that, but actually, it would be amazing to see just Maz just win his next 5 matches just to have everything balanced.
That would be a thing. That would be amazing to see.
If he does that, I would have to request if he's a part of season 4 that he has to base his team around the Thanos theme. It's some sort of meme, just everything in balance.
He has to.
Conveniently, he's facing off against Romkey, who's kind of stole the title of Thanos a little bit when he murdered the Better Than Humans. And nearly killed Iron Man. So it fits if he can get his first win against Romkey.
Fair enough.
Yep. I'll be honest, I'm going for a 1-1 draw as well because I got a feeling that's what's going to happen this match. Though I'm expecting a few deaths, though. I am expecting a few deaths.
Oh yeah, I fully expect even if Rumkey does play some crowd control on the mummies, I fully expect that crowd control is going to come with casualties.
Yeah. Anyhow, we'll move on to the next match. Another interesting match. It's the Battle of the Green Ugly Snotling People, which is the Painful Suffering versus the Warhammer Locust.
Underworld versus Ogres.
Yeah, Glad's feeling the pain a little bit after the injuries last match, I believe. He's missing a couple players, and Ogres might add on to that if he's not careful.
Well, he is missing 2 players, which is a thrower and his prize Goblin, the one who's got Blodge.
Lodge and Diving Tackle, which he would be really damn good against those Noblar.
Yep. I mean...
I've just noticed something. I'm just having a quick look at Oh, wait. Sorry, wrong team. This is Goddamn Rats. Okay. I was wondering... Sorry, I was just confused there for a second. I was just looking over the remaining survivors of the team, and I was just thinking, holy crap, there's no Goblins left. All that's left is Skaven.
Definitely the wrong team.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong team. Wrong team.
I have to say, though, I think, Joe might be in trouble because if you look at Glad's team, he has 2 claws on his team.
Yeah, but Ogres are armor 9. I was about to say they were maybe armor 8, so that's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm completely wrong. One good bash on those Ogres, especially with if he has Mighty Blow on either of them, is going to really be felt quickly.
He does on his troll.
True.
Okay,
Though
so
the counter of that is, of course, yes, they've got claw, but they're going up against. That claw is on. I think one of the claws is on the troll, isn't it?
Yep, Claw Mighty Blow on the Troll, Claw
And-
on one of the Blitzers, Mighty Blow on the second Blitzer, so yeah.
Okay, the troll. Yeah, the troll's probably going to be. The troll's a threat, no question, but the blitzer, maybe not so much. Because after all, this is Skaven. They're not. Well, an Underworld team in particular, they're not particularly good at fighting big guys.
Yeah,
True.
it comes down to if you can get those 2 dice blocks, then those Blitzers can do work, but otherwise, yeah, it's really the Troll that's the scariest thing for the Ogres right off the bat.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Ogre team, I mean, Joe's team has taken a horrific pounding. I mean, he's down to 10 players now.
Yeah,
He's still got 10?
Yes, believe it or not, he's still got 10, including his Strength 2 Nobbler and his Agility 3 Ogre.
Agility 3 Ogre.
Yep. For some odd reason, he's been doing some ballet lessons.
Admittedly, I think we can all agree that if he can get the ball to said Ogre, then the Underworld team's going to have a very difficult time actually dislodging it.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
just a couple of Nobblar next to it. You're not getting those 2 dice blocks against that Ogre ever,
Yeah.
especially without guard.
Yes, agreed. And to be honest, I do feel that this match, it's going to boil down to 2 factors. One, who gets the first turn? That could decide a few things.
Who gets to punch first?
And
Yeah,
secondly,
that can really set the pace.
yep. And secondly, can Joe?
Yeah, especially for an Ogre team where that opening punch is really.
Oh yeah. And the question is though, can Joe withstand the claw onslaught that could come from the troll? Because, well, let's be honest, that troll can go toe to toe with the ogres, right? He's one of the only players that can go toe to toe.
Yeah, and in one-on-one, he should win that match, but when there's 5 Ogres, he's definitely got his work cut out for him.
I mean, we could see a few deaths in this match, because it is Goblins and Snotlings are also involved in this mayhem.
Yep. And I wonder who's going to be doing the most throwing this match, because we got a lot of possibility for both teams throwing Goblins and Nobblar at each other.
Indeed. But also we must add the factor as well. Glad has a 90k endorsement, and I do believe he does have some petty cash.
In fact, he's at 170k, so his points are being inflated by 20 points because of his treasury right now, too. So he could buy an extra player to send that out, or at least spend it on inducements.
Yep, he could do that. He could buy like some bribes. So that could tip things.
Yeah, and Glad loves his fouling, so bribe is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. He just needs to knock those ogres down first for it.
Oh god, if any ogre goes down, I'm sorry, but these ogres are gonna get murdered by a hail of studs.
And conveniently, one of these ogres has pylons, so Pirate Joe could indulge him by knocking his own ogre down for that, if he's not careful.
Yep.
True, but then again, it is, if he does pile down, it will be against Goblins or Skaven. So let's be honest, it's gonna hurt.
If he does that to a goblin, he's gonna kill it.
He's gonna flatten that poor thing. There's not even gonna be anything left. Because I saw the animation for that pylon in Pirate Joe's last game. He just belly flops on top of the poor victim.
Yeah. But Joe, a little piece of advice, but buddy, if you're watching this, if you're gonna use pylon, make sure you do it when he's injured. Basically, when you break the armor, and if you don't get the injury you want, use it then.
My counterpoint to that is, do it in a situation where you can provide that ogre's support. Because as my compatriots have said, this is if an ogre's on the ground, they're gonna throw everything they can to make sure it doesn't get back up again. So having some support around to protect said ogre, so that isn't really an option, or at least not as guaranteed to get results as they would like.
Yeah, and I think that goes a little bit to what Black Templar was saying before. Like, it depends who gets to go first there, because if Glad gets to go first, there's a good opportunity he can knock down an Ogre or two and set for a really good foul attempt. And that could set the tempo for the rest of this match really easily if that's a good result.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, if Joe goes first, there's a good chance he can deal with the damn troll.
Oh, yeah. Because if that thing's down, it's not taking advantage of Claw or Mighty Blow.
If he can get the troll off the field, then well, Glad's fucked. Let's be honest.
Yep. So, gentlemen, the scores?
I
know what?
Yeah,
No,
I think Glad could. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think Glad can
go.
still win it out because even though the ogres are intimidating, almost everyone has kind of won against them except what was it? Scythe was it who lost?
Yeah.
I can't remember who was the one who lost to ogres.
I believe it was Scythe, yeah.
So yeah, so I think Glad can still come out on top. It's just the ultimate question on how bad is he going to be as a result for that win.
It's fair comment.
Right.
But as far as
personally,
yeah, it was the
you score first. Score.
Yeah, it was the Chaos Dwarf that he beat. Was the Chaos Dwarf that Joe beaten? And Ronky's just joined the chat. What I miss? Well, we just missed you, Ronky. We just analyzed you, and you'll have to catch it. You'll have to catch the replay of this a little later, buddy. Sorry. But
yeah, you're a little late to the show, unfortunately.
Yep. You've just missed also a big trash talk war between these two, so you missed a lot, buddy. Anyhow, your scores, gentlemen, on this match between the Warhammer Locust and the Painful Suffering.
Yes. Personally, I'm thinking Pirate Joe with a 2-1.
Oh,
really?
Oh, whoa, hold on. Did I just hear that right? Did you just say Pirate Joe will beat Glad? Is that right?
2-1. Yes.
I was honestly thinking the other way, 2-1, maybe for Glad, maybe 2-0 if he gets the early momentum, knocking out an Ogre or two. But wow.
Whoa. Well then,
well, someone needs to put some faith in Someone needs to put some faith in the ogres. I mean, they have. Here's the thing that people forget: they have won before. They've won and they've drawn before. It's just apart from that, it hasn't really gone well. This is probably I feel like if there's going to be a case where they're going to they're going to get another win, this will be it.
It's possible, but I think Pirate Joe is already kind of like done with the ogres a little bit mentally. Even as we're getting near the end of the season, he's already planning on playing as pirates, so that could be a factor as well. His interest in playing with the ogres, so it's hard to really say, to be honest.
Well, my prediction is I'm going for a 2-2 draw, but I do believe there'll be a lot of death and destruction in this match.
Oh, hell yes.
There's definitely that possibility, especially on Noblar, but we want to see ogres and trolls get beaten up a bit too.
Yep. So, Glad, Joe, I hope you're watching this, or when you do watch this, we expect murder, death, and carnage. If I do not see death in this match, I'll call the pair of you out as softies.
Bonus points if you injure your own goblins and Noblar by throwing them.
Yeah, bonus points if you do that. But I will call the pair of you out as softies if you don't do it. Does let you know that. Anyhow, we'll move on to the next match, and this is another chaotic family affair between the Cheerful Chastisers and the Strickland Family.
Now this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
because both teams have a Minotaur as well now too, so they're going to be bashing each other probably all game.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. The thing is, though, what makes this hilarious? Oh, I am scared. Yeah, Pig Dog's just joined the stream. Welcome, Pig Dog. Yeah, well, you're just in time because we're now going to talk about you. And to be honest, I mean, if we look at the cheerful chastisers, right? I mean, let's be honest. Against you, Ulf, the poor bugger didn't have much of a chance because he was knuffled to hell and back.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of misplace there. I think he tried picking up the ball before actually blocking, and it burnt the reroll really early on his part, so he didn't get to quite bash me as much as he could have in some of those turns as well.
Hmm.
But with that guard dwarf blocker out of the way, his Chaos Warriors can be a really big threat against his
Yeah.
his linemen at least.
Yeah. But however, if we look at his lineup, Pig Dog's lineup, he has two very key players.
He still has the bloody 7 armor beastmen.
And one of them levels
Grover
up
and
to.
Ernie are holding you back, man.
And I tried to break them too, but my mighty blow was not enough, even with the armor 7, surprisingly.
Well, to be honest, he has two players who I believe might be key to his team, which is Elmo and Num Num 2. Now,
Claw.
Claw and a blocking Minotaur. That is very scary. I don't care what you say, a blocking Minotaur is scary.
Oh hell yes. Immediately, Twinkie Winky is not going to be seeing a whole lot of action this. Well, at least not as far as tentacles are concerned.
Oh,
It could
hell
be good
no.
it could be good at tying up the bull centaurs a tiny bit, or at least having a good chance of tying them up, since they're the ones that are
Oh,
likely going to run by.
Oh yeah, the bull centaurs. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But let's turn our attention back to the Strickland family.
Yep.
The only two people on only two people on the team who don't have block are the Minotaur, Big Bertha, and Duke the Hobgoblin.
Yep.
There is going to be a loner as well, keep in mind. That also won't have
Yeah.
block, but it's a loner.
Yep.
Yeah, that we are all just sort of agreed that Hobgoblin is cannon fodder at this point.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's just going to be carrying the ball, so he's going to be hanging back away from all the bashing.
Yep. But we also must add two factors in for the Strickland family. Now, one of their bull centaurs, Tank, is carrying a niggling injury. Now, that could play a factor in this game, considering, this is Chaos, and they do love a good punch-up.
I tried to kill Tank. He was actually dead for a bit, too, before the doctor saved him.
And also, he's got to deal with Claw. Now, this battle, I think, will be the battle of the claws between Elmo and Dale. Whoever gets going the most is going to cause the most damage.
Yeah, I will admit that Scythe does have an advantage in the fact that he has at least 3 players on his team with Mighty Blow.
Oh ho!
And he can
Confident. Yeah. Go ahead.
And because of Clyde, who now has block as well as the additional strength, he has at least 3 players that can match the Chaos Warriors as well as the Minotaur to fight the other Minotaur.
Fair enough. But before we go further, gentlemen, Pig Dog has just laid the challenge, saying he will kill that Claw guy. He will kill him. Now that is
You got a good opportunity for it.
That's a hell of a challenge, mate.
What, Tank?
No, he wants to kill Dale. He wants Dale, the Claw one. He says he'll kill him.
Ah.
Now that would be
Big
interesting
words.
to see. That's interesting to see, Almond. That is interesting to see.
Yeah. That big words, especially considering that he's just come off of a 0-4 loss.
Yeah,
Big words. Big
Yeah.
words.
Well, he did get 4 level ups out of there, so it's not like he came out as a terrible defeat. He actually benefited quite heavily with the Minotaur with block and 3 other players leveling up through that.
True.
And another factor to keep in mind is the inducements. Sure, there's going to be a loner that brings the Chaos Dwarves up to 1410, so Scythe is going to have 200k in inducements to take advantage of.
True, that's going to be a questionable thing. That might go against Pig Dog, but depends what Scythe does, because you have to remember Scythe is one of those players who's like, you don't know what kind of moves he's going to come into when he goes into the match, you know what I mean?
A little bit. But I think we can all agree this match is going to be a slog. Is going to be a slugfest.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
If I don't expect death or some form of like maiming or mutilation, I'll be disappointed.
Hmm.
A
Anyhow,
wall
gentlemen.
of block versus a good deal of Chaos Warriors with Strength 4 and a handful of block there, so
So, your
Hmm.
thoughts on the score, gentlemen?
Um, I'm thinking 1-0 in favor of the Strickland family.
1-0, huh? Oath?
it's really hard to say there. I see Scythe just winning the Bash Fest just due to sheer amount of block and how stubborn those dwarves are going to be to keep down.
Uh-huh.
But I see maybe a 1-1 tie.
I mean, this is of course assuming that Nuffle just doesn't decide that one of the team's armor is, paper.
Yeah, Claw always opens up that possibility when suddenly your armor is your greatest weakness.
The, before I give our prediction, Pig Dog says, death and injuries count predictions. Um, well, we're hoping to see lots of death and injuries for entertainment value. But my forces and Pig Dog might faint here what I'm going to say is, but I think Pig Dog will win 3-1.
Ooh.
I think Pig Dog win 3-1. I just hope I didn't make him faint though when I just said that.
Yeah, he's going to have to
Really?
get around those bull centaurs to make that happen. So he needs to have a plan in mind if he's going to get that 3-1 score you're
Yeah,
aiming
those
for.
bull centaurs aren't. Those bull centaurs have to be acknowledged and are not something you can just ignore. They are
Yeah.
a serious thing.
Oh yeah.
Sprint and sure feet is sure to have them on your ball carrier at all times if you try and sprint in there for aggressive touchdown.
And
And he
they
sure as
both
hell,
have block. They
Yep.
both have block, and one of them has mighty blow.
I think I made him faint because I just got an emoji face of him look like he's fainting.
he's astonished, yeah.
Yep. Anyhow, the next match is the Sterling Stitches versus the goddamn Rats. Rats.
Do we
Ooh.
really? I mean no disrespect towards Sergeant Grimm. I honestly wish he'll win this one, but let's be realistic here. This is gonna be in the Stitches' favor, isn't it?
Well,
The one thing he has going for him is Claw is not really all effective against this team, so that Werewolf is just a highly mobile blitzer, essentially, since I don't think it has Might Blow yet.
no. Well, the thing is, though, werewolves can't have mighty blow unless you give them
Doubles.
doubles.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
is. So he's just a high-speed blitzer for at least
Yeah.
the rats. Unless he goes after the ogre, then Claw can be a factor.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. Just having a look at the Sterling Stitches, he has a full roster.
Well, almost. He's one.
Oh,
Yeah, he's one player
damn
short.
it, he's missing one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, I was just caught off guard. Just like I'm looking at just the solid wall of people from top
Yeah.
to bottom. Was no one injured or?
No,
Just save.
I didn't get. I only got one injury, and it was a badly hurt in our match against it. My match against him. Like I said, I had a rotten match last week against him. Nuffle favored him greatly.
Oh, I am not looking forward to my match against him later because I'm fighting him last.
Yeah, and I think most of those are the reason why the roster is filled up is because he killed players. I see Sean
Yeah.
Clark fan slammed, which
Yeah.
is or Sean Claude fan slam from the Dark Elves, and I see Segroth,
Yeah.
your orc player, also there in the roster now. Black.
Yeah. Thanks to Ronky, the little git.
Yeah, so that's a lot of the reason why the roster's as filled as it is. So it's a question
Yeah.
if he's going to keep them to add insult to injury for his opponents that he beat.
Yeah.
I suspect he'll keep them up to the point where he thinks that they become a liability.
And as we look at the poor rat team, I mean, good God Almighty! I thought the Wood Elves had a bad luck when it comes to injuries, but poor Grim, I mean, look at the devastation he's have to deal with.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
this is part. Yeah, this is part of the reason I kind of confused him for the Underworld team initially, because I know that there's a limit to how many Skaven you can have on the Underworld's team, and considering how many players he has left, it's very a real possibility that that was all that was left of the team.
On the plus side, though, the only real valuable player he's missing out is the second Stormvermin or Blitzer. He has
Yeah.
his 4 Gutter Runners, he has his Rat Ogre, and he has his Thrower. So it's really just linemen that are being replaced mostly.
Oh yeah.
He has his plus 3. He has his plus strength gutter runner too, which is with block, which is a good thing to have. It's a good bull runner.
The
Yeah,
funny,
so
Question.
the funny thing is, he's only got one true lineman left, and he's the only one who's got block.
yeah, so I would say he's still a potentially formidable team outside the one Stormvermin he's missing out on. And he's going to have a lot of inducements again, which is kind of the theme, is it so far for the Rats?
Yeah.
I mean, on the plus side, at least the Lavoners he's getting are going to be linemen. Their literal point is to stand there and get hit.
Yes.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, and he's going to get 3 loners, and they're perfect for that role, too. So he's not really missing out on anything at all, almost, outside level ups and maybe team value for a properly developed team.
Yes.
It still kind of sucks being 3 people down from a full team, though.
Indeed it is. But anyway, gentlemen, before we declare the scores, we also have to look at inducements. Now, the Rats are going to be probably 120, 1-2, probably because, when they get all the replacements, like all the loners.
Of course.
And against his opponent, which, to be honest, it's not going to be pretty, he'll probably have 300k inducements. So what advice would you give him to help him level the playing field a bit, to help him try and somehow survive the onslaught?
Hard to say because I don't really know the star players off the top of my head. I know there's like a Strength 4 Blitzer, which can be really great. It has claw as well, but Flesh Golems can kind of match that and at least hold them at bay, especially one of those Flesh Golems with block.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think they have access to the Goblin star players, like Helmet and the Bombardier and stuff like that.
Okay, I remember what the star plays are. There's a Ball and Chain. They don't get the Chainsaw, though, so Ball and Chain could do work, potentially. There's the Strength for a Blitzer, Stormvermin. There's a Gutter Runner with 2 heads, Gutter Runner with Stab, and I think there's a Rat Ogre without Wild Animal that you could get to.
Oh yes, I know him. He's the top one. Yeah. To be honest, I would go with like mostly medical rerolls, and a wizard probably be the best thing for him in this match.
Yeah, I was gonna say wizard might not be the worst option here, because I feel like Sterling's probably one of his better. The fact that he has so many people, one of his greatest strengths right now is the fact that he would be able to use his numbers against the Skaven team, and a wizard kind of discourages that.
Well, if he does pick a wizard, Grim, this is a piece of advice. If you take a wizard, use him at the end of your turn. Do not use him at the beginning. Use him at the end of your turn if you're going to use a wizard. Because if you use a wizard, your turn automatically ends.
There is one exception to that, though. If you use it at the very, very beginning before you get up or move with any of your players, but Grim is likely maybe going to forget that, so yeah, I would recommend that to save at the end. But you can use it at the very beginning before you do anything with your team.
Indeed. And now, gentlemen, the scores.
I really want to see the Rats win, but it's been a rough season so far for Grim, I feel like. Especially demoralizing with all the injuries and how butchered the team's been.
And not forgiving him a good kick him.
And I feel like that's not going to change anytime soon.
And Strickland Stitches have been murdering people the past 2 games, so that might continue. The Werewolf won't be as impactful again since a lot of Armor 7, so Claw's not going to be a factor as much. But I think 2-0, 2-1 for Strickland Stitches, at the very least.
Okay.
Maybe 3-0.
Right.
I'm going to. I will admit I'm going to kind of agree with them that one with 3-0 to Strickland Stitches. Not because I don't think Grim would be able to use his team or use his inducements to get results, but simply because I feel like this is going to be a brutal uphill struggle for him, and Nuffle is going to have to. have to show uncharacteristic kindness for him to make progress.
Okay. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Sterling Stitches because I do feel that Grim will get a touchdown, but it's just the sheer number of injuries that's going to come from the Sterling Stitches' little rampage.
Mm.
Anyhow, next one, it's the Battle of the Beer-Swilling Ugly People. Basically, it's the Midgar Raiders versus the WWE.
I'm
What?
sorry, Johnny. You're gonna have to face off against something that has pretty much the same block as you, but better armor.
Pretty much.
And tackle. And
Yep.
tackle.
Yep. So let's
Does
start.
Johnny even have dodge?
Yeah, I think he does actually. But let's start off with let's look at Johnny's team first before we move on to the WWE. So where is Johnny's team? There it is, the Midgard Raiders. So let's look at this team, shall we? Now,
Armor 6. That's all I'm looking at right now.
yep. But here's the thing, though.
I kind of feel bad because if he had Moose the Yeti, yeah, then he would have some way of gaining ground against the dwarves because that he would be able to punch through the armor.
That was hilarious how he lost him.
I robbed him of that, and I kind of feel a little bad for that.
Yeah.
No.
But
Thankfully, that Yeti's gonna live, though. It would have died otherwise.
yeah, you disappoint me, Bright. I said hopefully Trump could take his head.
Yeah, I tried, but we did kill him. We did kill the Yeti, but the doctor made it a miss a game.
Yeah, but
So yeah, to Johnny's credit, that's still a much better result. It's better to miss a game with the Yeti than to not have to buy a new one. But
I mean, and
this is not the match for it.
No, and look at this though. The thrower, right? He's got a movement decrease and an armor decrease. Why the holy hell is he still on the team?
Well, he's missing next game right now, so it doesn't matter at this moment, but still, he's hanging on to a Berserker and Lineman, which I believe both those caused the armor loss in our game, or at least my game against Johnny.
Yeah. I don't know.
I managed to briefly kill the Yeti and Thrower. There is. I feel like at this point he's gonna keep Thrower just simply to see just how many injuries and how much pain he can put the guy through before he finally dies.
Yeah, the stat line is going to be nothing but red numbers. Like 5 movement, 2 strength, maybe 1 agility, and he'll still have them for some reason.
But let's move on to the WWE, guys. Now, they are a newish team. They are lacking in skills, but you cannot deny the amount of block he has on his team. How in the holy hell is Johnny ever going to deal with this team?
Never mind a little bit of inducements, too.
Yeah.
I mean, his Trollsters will have a field day against the Woogans, but the rest of his team, this is going to come down to who can take the better punches.
And let's be honest, that's going to be the dwarves. That's the dwarves. And the dwarves are going to get inducements.
Which is even more terrifying.
Yeah, unless Johnny finally cuts those losses, those Armor 6 players out, then it can be a little more balanced, but...
Formal, please advise for your inducements. Please buy a Death Roller. We want to see you run over Johnny with some spikes. Come on, we
Chainsaw is also welcome here a little bit, but Death Roller's just a showstopper right now.
Yeah. Bring in the Death Roller and run down everyone. It's usually hilarious and funny. I mean, okay, the Death Roller's going to get sent off, but how much carnage can you cause with a Death Roller is the question.
Oh yeah, Death Roller can do some horrifying shit to people.
Yep, and if you have the ball, you just sit them in there for the entire half and just don't care about touching down until the final turn.
I love what Ronky just said about Death Roller. He said, Death Roller will clean up Johnny's team for him.
Yeah, just kill them. If he's not going to get rid of him, we might as well help him with his problem there. Yeah. Just kill all the Armor 6 players.
He's like a hoarder. I can't get rid of my useless players.
You know, we should see.
They're part of the collection.
We should get him on an episode of Hoarders and see how how much this goes.
Just show how battered these spare players are, and yet he still has them. Constantly
Just
leveling up and steal MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is over 260, so you can get a death roller, because death rollers I think are 150.
180-ish roughly.
Yeah, you can get
With
one.
the and pretty close to getting a bribe for it too, maybe. If he really wants to lay on the hurt.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
so we can kind of agree that if Johnny doesn't want the WWE to have a death roller to basically decide to take players from him anyway, his best bet is to dump the two lower than average players.
Yeah,
That is literally the only way to prevent that from happening.
indeed. So anyway, gentlemen, the scores.
I think dwarves are gonna merge some Norse. I'm saying 2-0.
Okay. Bright.
Personally, I am thinking that the dwarves are going to win the role, but I could see the Norse being able to outrun them a bit if they can if he can get around them and just with the ball and just run for it. I could see this being a case of maybe maybe a tie of 1.
Hmm.
What I'm gonna say
But
is,
Maybe.
if Johnny just commits to just a full on punch and punch match, then yeah, I'm not saying that he's out of it because he does have block. He does have people who are able to. He does have block. He does have frenzy. He has that, but yeah, it's not unless Nuffle is very much in his favor. The odds are in the dwarves' favor to win.
He
yes,
definitely has a lot of things going against him, Johnny. He has like 4 tackle that are going to be completely useless here, so that's 80 points of team value. He's not going to get in return. His Yetis, of course, out. That could have been a key player. And of course,
Yeah,
armor 6 players.
yeah. I feel kind of bad about the Eddie, but yeah, not much that can be done there.
I'm gonna go with, and I'm probably gonna make Johnny cry, but I believe it'll be a 4-0 win to the WWE.
Going more over the top there. I thought I was being generous with the 2-0.
Now, 'cause I just feel like the dwarves are just gonna go freaking nuts and just run riot. Cause you gotta remember,
Yeah, and
I mean to be fair, from what we've seen of the matches with the W so far, because they've only actually played 2 matches. Oh, I know 3,
3.
3 matches. Yeah,
yep,
and they've either won or drawn.
yep. But you have to remember though, guys. We have to remember this about WWE. He does a lot of passing with the dwarfs, so that's why I feel that some of the scores are coming in.
Yeah. I will say he's done 3 matches. He's won 1 and drawn twice. But in fairness, the 2 times he's drawn has been against teams that have a lot more experience than him,
hmm
which is impressive. So the fact that he's forced them to a standstill is impressive nonetheless.
Yep. And plus as well, I think Ronki's just shouting to us saying he thinks that he's saying, excuse me, I'm just got something in my throat. He thinks that I think these dwarves are elves, but the reason I believe this scoreline is because W tends to pass with his dwarfs, and very successful, I may add.
Yeah, to be fair though, the one pass that he did in my game was just a fancy pass at the very last turn. So he did it just because he couldn't touch down, essentially. I don't know about the Chaos Dwarf match, how much he passed though.
He did some passes, but he just could not get away from the bull centaurs and he couldn't hurt them very well, except for the 2 devs, which was shocking, but just couldn't get through them.
So he does have the agility to do decent passing, but he's gonna have to be willing to burn a reroll for it since he doesn't have catch or pass.
Yeah.
And now for our final, and honestly, probably one of the more interesting matches of the week.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, BMS versus Better Than Humans.
Yep. So let's look at Better Than Humans first. Now, as many of you will know, Better Than Humans has not finished their updating yet because they're still he still hasn't done that. Die. So Die, do get your butt in gear and do sort this out, would you? So we can figure out who's going to get what. But let's look at the facts here. Die is missing Captain America. He is missing that. Which is agility 5
That's
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that
the
is-
theme of this game is both teams are missing out on like throwers. Like the BMS cheer squad are also missing their 2 throws, so we may not see as much passing as we're used to expect. Although
Yeah.
Hawkeye's still in for Better Than Human.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This match, right? This is where I think Gojira's tactics will not work. He can't get away with half his shenanigans this time. He's going to have to go into a physical fist fight instead of trying to dodge away and rely on his bludgeon.
true.
Because
Though in it, though I will say,
go ahead.
I see where you're coming from, but 2 things. One, Better Than Human does not have tackle.
Yep.
At all. They don't have
Yeah.
tackle at all.
Yeah.
And the second one is that if it comes down to a fight, I'm fairly certain that the Amazons are probably better equipped to do combat than the Elves are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dodge is just really good at taking the blocks, especially with a limited number of blocks for Better Than Human, since his lineman got Dodge instead. So he can walk up there and take those beatings incredibly well if he just doesn't
Yeah.
beat the Elves into a pulp.
That's what I feel like. I feel like this match, I mean, like I said, Gojira will not get away with half his shenanigans this time around. He's going to have to get down and dirty. If he doesn't, he'll be outspedded like there's no tomorrow.
Yep. He has 3 guard and 2 tackle players to help complement that frontline bashing too, so
Yeah.
he can very well change gears in this match.
Oh hell yes, because the Elves, I'm looking at Better Than Human, they've only got 3 people with block.
Mm-hmm.
His two blitzes and the catcher.
Yep.
That's it.
And we're still left wondering what that blitzer might roll, so that could also be the wild card here if he gets something ridiculous like strength or additional agility.
True.
I would
True.
To be honest, I would say to Die this, get tackle. You have to get tackle. Given what you're going to face next, tackle must be a must. There's no ifs or buts on that.
Oh hell yes.
However, we must
If you
also...
can't...
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead, Die.
No, you go.
We have to...
I was just going to say...
Right, anyhow, let me see. We've got to look at this thing. Deborah, even though she is his best player, if she does get taken out, that could be problematic for the Amazons.
Yeah,
See, you say that, and I do agree with that. If she gets hit, if she actually gets successfully hit, that is problematic. The thing is, the thing there is if she gets hit. That's the key word there, is if.
Yeah, because every time that Amazons get the ball, Deborah's going to be secured by that cage of 3 guard blitzers. So unless Diablo wants to do a 5+ dodge into that, it's not happening.
Yeah, and considering that 2 of those blitzes have tackle, dodge... dodge is... Yeah, the Elves have the agility, but to try to give it a shot, but... Yeah, if they fuck up, it's going to be punishing.
Oh, hell yeah. Anyhow, the scores, gentlemen, for the final game of the week.
Ooh, this is going to be a tough one to call. I feel like it's still pretty even match, possibly. It's just a question if Gojira is going to get on the offensive or not. So...
I will say that when you actually... Yeah, it's gonna be fairly even, but the BMS is going to have a fair bit of inducement to work with.
Yeah, about just under 250k of inducement, so...
Yeah. Solid amount.
Yes,
Yeah,
a wizard
solid amount.
alone changes that a bit.
So, Ove, you first.
I think it might be 2-2. I almost am thinking 3-2 for Better Than Humans, but that wizard is probably not going to make that happen, so I'm saying 2-2 tie.
right?
Hard to say. I'm inclined to go with a 3-1 in favor of BMS, simply because I fully expect them just to start kicking the absolute shit out of High Elves.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
yeah.
Diablo does have the subs, basically, even if the injuries do happen. It's just a question if the throwers, the catchers, and the blitzers get knocked out.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go.
True. Oh,
True.
you go.
I'm gonna go with a. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 between them, but I am expecting at least probably a few injuries from this match from both sides. I expect death from you two. Death.
Death's always good. As the spectators, we always want to see death.
Yep. I mean, hell,
Oh, yeah.
we want to see better humans get a good trouncing, but we also want to see the BMS get a good trouncing as well.
Hmm.
But anyhow,
Yeah, this is one of those matches where I feel like BMS does have the advantage since the elves don't really have a proper counter for them.
That's for sure there, but there's only 2 tackles, so a lot of times he's still going to be able to dodge out relatively well. At least for most of the linemen and players.
True.
True.
Fair enough.
Well, folks, that's nearing the end. But first things first, let's look at the leaderboard. As you can see, Gojira is still running the top of the league, followed behind by Molt, then myself, then you, Oathmaster, then Devil,
Better than
then
human.
yep, then the Sterling Stitches, who have had a real resurgence and moved up to 6th. Then we have the Dwarfs in 7th, and Ronki, who's 8th. But the question is though, how long will this leaderboard stay this way? Because after this week, I'm expecting a lot of going up and down the league probably in this week.
Oh yeah, because I think I was 13th at one point.
Yep.
13th, 14th a while ago, but I've managed to fight my way up to 10th.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to knock you back down. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Well, consider the
Well,
fact.
I plan to scar that pretty face of yours with at least some of your blitzes.
Oh.
Thankfully, I have helmets to kind of hide the scars, or I'll wear with pride after I beat you. But that's just a sampling of what you missed, Rompkey, from earlier.
Yep. But also we'll have a look at the
Trump
whole.
will have his Bretonian crown.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. But before we do the last two things, let's look at the current leader, Hall of Fame. And for most experience, that is Jeremy, obviously.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of, at this point.
Yep.
Is anyone really that surprised?
Yep, he's like the only level 5 player at the moment.
Yep.
I don't know how close everyone else is, though.
We have Ronki as the most violent, as two of the most violent players in the league, next to Sugar Bear, who somehow is still number 1. I don't know how he is, but yeah.
Well, we kind of seen just how leveled up those mummies have been getting. And the only way to gain the experience outside MVP is injuries, so that's probably a factor.
And the thing is, though,
I mean, to be fair, Alien Overlords is a very close 4th.
Yep.
Yeah, 8 injuries as well. So.
So the next one is the best receiver, which is Gonorrhea for the Norse. Yes, the Norse are the best receivers.
Wow, they stole your thunder there a little bit, Templar.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get it back eventually. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that. I didn't know Johnny was mostly into passing.
Always best not to see elves up there.
Yeah, it's one of those things that just... It's weird having a best receivers with at least 3 elf teams in the league, and the top 3 is a Norseman, a orc, and a rat.
I know, it's weird.
And apparently Jeremy is tied with the 2 of the Dark Elves there for 4th place, so that's where the elves are hiding right now.
And an orc.
Yep.
There's also an orc tiding for 4th.
Yep. And next, best serial killer, which is Russian Trump.
Still, he is still top of the fucking leaderboard.
Yep, he's the only one with 2 kills. Everyone else that I see have 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable he's up there, but how long will that last?
I mean, on the plus side, at least we've got the change from last week where we actually have everyone on the top 20 of the serial killers having a kill.
Yep. Next is Best Interceptor, which is only Duke. Duke's the only one who's done it.
Everyone else
Yeah.
is just for show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next is the biggest Brute, which is Insanely Creeping Grasp. Next,
I'm surprised to see one of my knights up there, but I think Mighty Blow is starting to kick off for me.
Yep.
I think that's what's happening there.
And
Oh,
number
yeah.
3, surprisingly enough, is a Dark Elf.
Yeah.
Arsene Schwarzenegger.
I've got a bit of a problem there because I'm facing him next. So, oh boy.
Yeah, and that's a guard blitzer too. He doesn't even have Mighty Blow, so
If he can get Mighty Blow, I fully expect him to just shoot.
Yep. Next is Best Thrower, which is Gulok. How the hell
you take
Followed
good
by-
pride in your passing play, and it's showing.
Yeah, how
Yep,
the hell am I...
followed by two High Elves.
Yeah, which Captain America will not be in the next match, so I have a chance to, extend the score a little bit.
Yeah, I think the reason Captain America's not number 1 is because when he went up against Ogres, he was injured in the first turn. So he never had a chance to take your spot.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of sets you back a bit.
Yep.
Best rushes is Deborah. But for
Yeah.
how much longer is that going to last?
Yep, with Toucan
Yeah.
Sam and the Girl Knight trying to catch up. Now, keep in mind, I haven't moved the week forward yet. I'll be doing that in a minute. But, Best Passer...
Oh,
is-
really? I thought...
No, I haven't yet. I'll do that right now, and we can see if that has changed the league. So, my bet on this, gentlemen. I forgot about this. So,
All right, we'll get out of that. Just wait for you to...
yep, just done that. The round has been confirmed, gentlemen, so go nuts.
I'll be talking
Alright.
to you later there, Bright Ops.
Yep,
Indeed.
yep. So, that's that sort. So, let's go check the Hall of Fame again, see if it has many changes. Oh, it did make some changes. But did it? Hang
Oh,
on.
did it? Oh, to the ranking?
Let's have a look. I'll take a look, because I'm trying to get to the, Let's have a look. I'll look through each one of them. Nope, no changes. Everything's just the same.
Yeah, it shouldn't change there. It's just you have access, or you're able to do your next match.
Yeah,
But the ranking should still be the same.
yep. So, best passer is Gulak, then Captain America, and then, surprisingly, a rat. Leak.
As
How did-
bad as they are, you can't keep a good rat down, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently not.
Best scorers is Jeremy,
Jeremy.
followed by Deborah and Arsene.
Double
Yep.
digits, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah. And then most match played, well, anyone who hasn't been taken out, basically.
Yeah, that's not very exciting.
Yep. And the best punching
Best
bag
punching bag.
is two
No,
Snotlings.
Two Snotlings and Dog.
And Justin for... Then there's a whole lot of ties for 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to give people an idea, from spot ranking 4 to ranking 18, all of them have a score of 5.
Yep.
Yeah, I think last week none of my players were on here. Now I finally have a lineman up in the top 20, so I'm glad to see the linemen finally taking their beatings like they're supposed to.
Well, any folks, that's it for this stream and this analyst. I'd like to thank Brian Ops for coming to the show. If you want to link to their channels, I'll do that once the video gets processed. I'll link their channels. But hey, folks, that's it for this analyst, and I hope to see you all on the pitch. And good luck, gentlemen, to your matches. And
Same here.
yep. And Brian Ove, kill each other. Go nuts.
Will do.
Indeed.
Yep. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the dinner bell. I'll see you in the next match. Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.